Hi, I'm Jeremy Callahan, and this is the App or Not to App. Mobile apps can help your business reduce costs, increase leads, and reduce manpower. An app is not a luxury item, it's a necessity. So let's get started making you money. Hello, and welcome to the show this week where we are talking about getting your app to go viral. And it's a very important subject because when we talk about apps and marketing apps and getting people to install and use your apps, one of the things we always have to do is we have to maximize the money we're spending. So if we're spending money on advertising and people are installing the apps and using the app, we want to make sure that we can really get the most out of those people. And one of those ways is by making our app go viral. If we can make our app go viral and we can get people to share it and reuse it and review it and do all those steps, then we're paying less money for advertising. And so there's a couple of parts to what I'm going to talk about today. You know, I was reading this book. It's called Contagious by Jonah Berger, and it's an orange book, and it was like how things catch on, how to make your product go viral. And I was a little disappointed in reading it because all it was examples. It wasn't actually real world stuff of what you can do to make a product go viral. And so when I was thinking about the show this week, I wanted to do something and actually give you 4 takeaways of things that you can do to make your app go viral. And so that's what the show is about this week. I'm going to teach you about it. If you're watching this on video, on the YouTube channel, you can see the 4 things behind me. Everything is labeled on that list as number 1. And the reason that everything is number 1 is because everything is of equal importance. I didn't put the first item number 1 because that's the most important, and 2, and maybe you do 3 and 4. You got to do all 4 of these. But the good news is if you do all 4 of these, you are guaranteed success to have more people installing your app for a cheaper cost. And that's really what we're after on this one. So there's really those 4 steps, and I'm going to break it down. So there's 2 main things I want to kind of get out of the way up front. And the first is iTunes and Google Play. So when you have an app and you publish your app, it goes onto iTunes and Google Play. And on both of those pages, you kind of have like a web page or a listing page, we'll call it. And on that listing page, it talks about your app and what your app does. Now, there's also people searching in both those app stores, a lot of people searching. So if you're familiar with SEO, search engine optimization, the same thing is happening in the app stores, which is called ASO, App Store Optimization. So there's a lot of people just searching for apps by keywords, pets, pet supplies, movies, sports, basketball, football, right? People are just searching for all these different things. So, and then on top of that, there's just the natural people searching. And then on top of that, the App Store has categories. They have a business category. They have a catalog category. They have a shopping category. They have a sports category. So there's all these different categories that they have. So if you were to look in the App Store on a regular basis, whether it's Google or iTunes, there's a listing of the top 100 apps. And usually I think it's the top 100 free apps, the top 100 all-time grossing apps, and then I don't know what the third one is, but it's like the top 100 most installs, something like that. So those are the 3 big categories, but then you have all these subcategories, which are like business, sports, like I talked about earlier. So you have these categories. So there are a lot of people, or they rank the apps from 1 to 1,000 or however many apps are in there by the category. So if you can get into the top 50 within your category, you're looking at about 1,000 free installs a day. That's in the top 50. If you're in the top 10, you're looking at 50,000. If you're in the top 5, you're looking at hundreds of thousands of installs a day just for being in that part of the category, just being that high up in the category. So the key here is, how do you get ranked up in that category, right? How do you get up there? Because, people are searching Sure, that's good. We can rank good for keywords, but how do we actually just get so popular that we get into that top 50, top 20, top 10? Sky's the limit, 10x, number one in the category. Can you get that high with your app? You potentially can. It's a little bit of pay to play. So if you do have some money to spend, you have a better odds of getting up there. But it doesn't take all that much money to get up there. I've been up there myself personally. My app, ShoeSwipe, years ago, I was featured in an article in BuzzFeed, and then an article in Fast Company, and an article in Product Hunt. And so those 3 online articles started generating a lot of traffic, which led to a lot of installs. And the app stores saw that as a good thing, and they started ranking me up. And one morning I woke up and it was about, I was getting like maybe 15 installs a day for the first couple days the app went live. And all of a sudden I woke up one morning, it was 8 o'clock in the morning, and I was in New York, and I already had, I think I had like 600 installs by 8 in the morning. I was like, what happened? What happened? I didn't know what was going on, right? And so I started searching Google, and I started looking around, and it turned out it was those 3 articles had drummed up a lot of I guess interest. And so what ended up happening, and I didn't realize it till a couple of days later, was I ranked up to number, I think it was 13 in the App Store in iTunes. So just by being ranked up that high, I was starting to get all kinds of free installs. So it's very powerful, because if you can get ranked up that high, you're going to really start to see free traffic coming in, and free installs, and free customers, right? And so I kind of reverse engineered it. I started reading, I started studying at that point in time. Prior to that, I was, 2013, I was more or less just a developer. I had an idea, I built the app, I launched the app. I did do some marketing and some things behind it, but I wasn't a pro marketer, and I didn't hire anybody. I was just doing it on my own, kind of shooting from the hip, like Han Solo. If you're watching the video, you can see I have a Millennium Falcon shirt on. But yeah, so I was just shooting from the hip, and I kind of was trying a bunch of different things, and I just got lucky, and all of a sudden I was there. And so after that all happened, I took a step back and kind of started studying and looking into why that happened. And now when I develop apps and work with customers all over the world, of businesses of all different sizes, I can bring this to the table, and I'm bringing it to you today. So this is free how-to information, how to make your app go viral, so you can get free traffic, free installs, make more money. So I hope you find value in that. And so the next kind of thing I'll briefly talk about is just kind of a high-level thing about sharing. And one of the things we really want to strive for is to get people to share, and I'll talk about it a little bit more, but in a minute. But the idea is that nobody shares, or not very many people share. Like, look at your Facebook feed or your social media feeds, and you'll start to see that, like, of the 500 friends you have, like 20 of them share the most, and then maybe another 20 actually just post things from here and there. So it's very rare that people are sharing. And so how do we get people to share, right? So if we feel, I've felt so strongly about all the apps I've launched and put out over the years, that I would share them, but the people that saw them didn't think that they were worth sharing. They might have even installed it and used it. A lot of the people I share to my friends and family with, and they install it and use it, but they didn't share it. So how can I get people to share it? So that's one of the things. So just at a high level, people don't share, people don't want to share. So we have to do something to kind of incentivize them. So let's get into the list. Okay, so the list, 4 things that iTunes and Google Play, they have an algorithm, and if you do all 4 of these things, they see you as kind of awesome, and they rank you better, and they reward you for that awesomeness. So I want to talk about that. So the first one is traffic and installs. Mainly it's installs. How many people are installing your app. So when you first launch an app, you're going to put out a lot of effort. You're going to put out press releases. You're going to, put things on social media. You're going to have everybody in your company put things on social media. You're going to run contests. You're going to run advertising. You're going to be on Instagram. You're going to be on Facebook. You're going to be on Twitter. You're going to be everywhere getting all this traffic. Maybe you'll get articles written about you. Maybe you'll work with influencers. So they'll drive traffic. So you're going to drive all this traffic to your iTunes and your Google Play Store, and people are going to install. Awesome. Step number one, you got to get people to install and use. Okay? That's great. You're one step in. Now, there's a lot of apps out there where people just install them and they never use them again. And so Apple and Google, they don't reward you for that. So now we have to get into the next two items. And the next one is sharing. So how can we get people to share your app? And you can't think about this when you market your app or when it's launch time. This is something you have to really think about way in advance, like when you're planning. So if you have an idea for an app and you're planning the app and you say it's going to do X, Y, and Z, and that's it, and you come to me with that idea, the first thing I'm going to say to you is, how are you going to get people to share it? You might say, well, I didn't think of that. Well, that's why you hired the app man, so that you can think about that, because you want people to share that app. You want people to go out of their way to be like, wow, this is awesome, because your app might be awesome. But if you don't ask me to share it, it's very likely I'm never going to share it, or you don't reward me for sharing it. Okay? So think about how you're going to pay for traffic to your app. Let's say you're paying for customers, and let's say it costs you 50 cents for every person that installs your app. So if you get 1,000 people to install the app, 50 cents, I think that's $500. So like $500 to get 1,000 people to install your app. What if, of all those 500 that actually installed, you asked them to share? And what if, I don't know, let's just say 10% of them, 50 of those people shared. So now you got 50 free installs. Count that against the 50 cents, 50, I don't know what that math is, but now you're not paying 50 cents an install. You're paying like 45. Just guess. Not good at math. And I'm a software engineer. Proof, you do not have to be good at math to be a software engineer. Right here. Okay? So sharing, how do you get it? So you need to have something in your app that asks people to share them. Okay? Think about that when you have an app and you install the app and you start using the app. Like when you're registering and signing in, the best thing you can do, the easiest thing you can do is say, hey, share this with your friends on Facebook. Ask the people to share it. Like it's that simple. And then on top of that, you could even do something like what Uber does or Lyft. They say, if you share this app with Jeremy and I use it, I get $5 towards one of my rides and you get $5 towards one of your rides. So we've incentivized people to share, to put an ad somewhere. Okay? You can do contests. You can incentivize in a lot of different ways. If you are looking for ideas around this, get in contact with me, jeremycallahan.com, and I will give you all kinds of ways to incentivize sharing and create sharing loops. So you put them in there so people know, okay? And again, it's very important. You spend a lot of time creating the app, marketing the app, so you want to make sure that people are, one, installing it, and two, sharing it. And then that gets us to our third thing, which is people need to reuse your app. And again, this is how Apple and Google are going to rank things. If you get a ton of people installing your app, like I did with ShoeSwipe, because I was getting all this free traffic, no one was sharing it because I didn't ask people to share. And then what I found is people use the app like 2 times, 2 days, and they never really used it again. And that's what Apple and Google, they just sent me down in the rankings. As fast as I got up to number 13, I was out of number 13 because people weren't reusing the app. And on average, every app that's out there, the average user uses it 1.5 times, whatever that means. They basically use an app 2 times and they're done. That's on average. So how do we get people to reuse our app? And this is another thing that we have to think about up front during the planning stages. How do we get people? How are we going to get people to reuse the app? And there's a lot of ways you can do this. Number one, the easiest way is fresh content. Just fresh content. So let's say you have a YouTube channel, and on the YouTube channel you have, I'll give you an example from Gabe, Kronos app, workout app, and he's got 4 exercise programs on there that you can purchase through the app, and then work out through the app, see the workouts. But on top of that, he has a YouTube channel, and on the YouTube channel he just puts like a shoulder workout, an arm workout, a leg workout, whatever. Well, whenever he posts into his YouTube channel, we pick it up and put it in the app. So now when people are opening the app, or not even opening the app, so they have the app, they've installed the app, maybe they're not using the app anymore, but he sends them an email every few days and says, hey, there's a new shoulder workout, click on the link. If they click on the link of the email, they're not taken to a web page. They're taken to that workout video inside the app. So now they're reusing. So that's a real simple way, okay? More complex way to get people to reuse the app is something like Fitbit, the little thing you put on your arm and it tracks your steps. There's a lot of people that are, it's not so much an app, but it's, because it's actually a hardware on your wrist, but they're actually getting more people to reuse it and to share, because they created this thing where I can compete against my girlfriend and my other friend. I think I don't have one, but it's like the weekly challenge. The work they have one, the work week challenge, which is like the 5-day Monday through Friday, and then they have the full week challenge. And so these people are competing against each other. They're sharing it with their friends, and they're reusing it. So you could do the same thing with a mobile app. You could have a reward system, like let's say you're an ab workout, and you want people to keep coming back and to stay fit. So give them a badge, give them $2 off a product. Do something, but get people to reuse. And then like another reuse one you're probably familiar with is like Instagram or Snapchat. They have the one where you take the selfie, and then on the selfie you can put the different things on your face. You can put clown makeup on your face, you can put bunny ears and whatnot. So like if I'm a girl and I see, oh, my friend has cute little bunny ears, I want that. So I'm going to go into the app and I'm going to, update the app so I can get bunny ears. And oh my God, I'm so cute, and I can send that to all my friends. And I can sit there with my dog next to me. I can put the bunny ears on my dog. This is the world we live in. So anyways, but that's a way to get people to come in and reuse. And what they're doing, Instagram and Snapchat, is they're always coming up with these new filters of things to put over your face, sunglasses, hats, whatever, right? So they're constantly putting new content in there to draw you back in to reuse that app, because it's a very important step. So again, we'll just go over it. So because it's important, you want to rank up in your category, and if you do all 4 of these things, you rank up in the category, you get free traffic, you get more installs, you make more money. So installs, how much people are coming, traffic and installs, sharing, how many people are sharing, how many people are reusing your app, and then how many people are reviewing your app. Are you getting reviews? Reviews are kind of like sharing. Most people don't want to give them unless it's bad. So you got to have some way to kind of mitigate this. So one, you got to ask for reviews, right? Because most people just aren't going to go out of their way to review. And then secondly, how do you mitigate so you get minimal bad reviews? And really it's pretty, you see the pattern of use in most apps. So you use an app for a few days, and then all of a sudden you get a notification. It says, do you love Sportacular? Sportacular is I think Yahoo owns it. It's the #1 sports app there is. Do you love Sportacular? And it says yes or no. If it says, if I hit yes, that takes me into iTunes to submit a review. It asks me, do you love it? Yes. So I go to Apple and I submit a review. If I hit no, what they do is they take me to a contact page on their contact page in the app. And it says, why don't you like it? What happened? And now I start writing a review. I'm not writing a review. I realize I'm not stupid to think I'm writing a bad review. I realize that I'm submitting this to them. I'm saying, you know, your app doesn't do this. It crashes every time it does that. The mental mindset of that is that it makes me think as though I'm helping them. I can be as harsh as I want. I can say, this app sucks. I don't like it. It doesn't do this. You should have done that. And but it makes me feel like I'm telling someone at the company that they're hearing my voice, as opposed to just a review on the App Store somewhere that somebody might not ever see. And I can't even respond. Well, now you can respond to bad reviews in the App Store. You used to not be able to respond to them as the owner of the company or your app. So now I can, you know, that customer feels as though they're telling me something, and I can get an interaction going with them. I could win them back. Gives me an opportunity to interact with my customer. So that's how you do a review loop. So again, very important stuff today. If you want your app to go viral, if you want to make more money, if you want to get more installs, usage, rank up in the category, free installs, people sharing your app, word of mouth advertising, going viral. These are the 4 steps. Again, they're all labeled number 1 because they're all equally important. Traffic and installs. How much traffic and install do you get? Do people share? Do people reuse? And do people review? If you can do all 4 of those things, and you can plan them out at the beginning, so you have an idea going in before you launch about what you need to do, then you're going to be more successful and you're going to make more money. My name is Jeremy Callahan. I am the App Man. You can find out all kinds of great information on my website, jeremycallahan.com. I have a YouTube channel, and I would love for you to subscribe and follow me and give me feedback and let me know how I can help you develop your dream into a mobile app to help your business go to the next level with the mobile app.